Right. Okay. Other things that you may want to know is that, you can find the project details here, and you can look at some additional tool windows here. When you want to run your script file, first you need to make sure that you're running the current file that we're looking at. So right now there's nothing to run in this scratch file, but you can always go down to current file. And then the buttons are here for running and for using the debugger. And again, we're going to talk about all those things in the future. So this is a place where you can write code. I can, like I was doing before, I can say x equals 3 and print x. And then when I'm done with that and I hit the run button, lo and behold, it opens up a window and actually prints out the number 3 right here. And I know that's very small, so I'll try and blow this up if I do more examples. But that's it. That's what programming looks like on a real basic level. Okay, so this is PyCharm. This is one option for an IDE that you can use. Okay. I also want to show you how to use idle, because I have downloaded idle. You'll notice that my idle is a little bit dated. I think the current version of Python is 3.12 maybe. This is 3.10. Okay, so the nice thing is it opens up, and you can see right here it's very bare bones. Very bare bones. I think I invented a word there. Okay. And so what happens here is you can write your commands in the console right here. Just like I did before in the other one. So when you start up idle, it gives you the console first. But if you wanted to write a new program, you could make a new file, and then you could write your Python statements there. Oops. If you can type, which of course is always a challenge, and you can run it. In this case, it's going to tell me I have to save it, so I'm not going to run it, but this is where I could write my script file. One cool thing I want you to notice here, because I started to do it, is that when I was writing the print function, and you'll see if I do it again, first of all, it highlighted print with purple, and then when I put the first parenthesis, it started to give me more information. Right now, that information probably looks confusing to you, but eventually, these are the kind of helpful, what they call tooltips that pop up that help you figure out what you should type in between the parentheses, okay? So that's another advantage of using a IDE, is that it'll try and prompt you to help you write your code. Now, if you're prepping for exams and things like that in this course, you may not want those things, because you may want to try and practice enough that it becomes like muscle memory. And so that can be an issue as well. But I do think these tools are very useful for writing code. When you save a file in this program, it will actually put your output over in the console window, and you'll see it over there. But this is a very simple IDE, idle. And so again, for those of you who are new to programming, this might be the one you want to use. Now I'll show you, this is the Python website, and it's just python.org. And one thing that you may want to do is go here and go to downloads, and you'll see that you can download for Windows here, but you can also go and get it on any other platform. You can download it and then install it, and that will come packaged with idle, so you can just run idle right away. So that's something to consider. Let's talk about the general structure of a file. You're going to write a file in Python has the .py extension, and it's generally called a scripting file. This is all nomenclature that I'm going to use, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. We don't really test vocabulary in this course, but if you are going to be a CSE major, you should maybe start using some of the same kind of terms that we use so that you can describe things well. And it probably helps to practice talking about coding. So maybe if you have friends in the class, you should try and use the vocabulary and make sure that you're on the same page. Okay. So in this case, I would technically name this something.py. I just put the X's in there just to say that you can name it whatever you want, .py. Okay. And then let's look at some of the specifics of what we actually do in this file. So we're going to talk later today about import statements. And if you're going to import something, it tends to be good practice to put those things at the top. Essentially, the only rule is you have to include them before you use them. But I think people tend to put things at the top just so they can kind of